Good morning, everyone. This is our third online session related to learning activity number 2. We're going to wait a little, maybe 2 more minutes to see if somebody else logs in. I see Sonia. Good morning, Sonia. We're going to wait for 2 more minutes to see if somebody else logs in, okay? Okay, let's continue. So for today we're going to check on the activities and evidences for learning activity number 2. So you click on activity 2 and it will show you this information. Activity number 2, there are 2 important documents. Number 1 is this document, learning guide, and number 2 is the material, how often do you study English, this version. Entonces, cuando hacemos clic en actividad número 2, nos va a desplegar el menú, actividad 2, y vamos a tener 2 documentos. El primero, Learning Guide, o guía de aprendizaje, que es el primer documento que encontramos, este, número 1, y el segundo, que encontramos 2 versiones, una versión multimedia y una versión descargada. Para esta sesión vamos a ver la versión descargada, esta que está en círculo. Okay, entonces vamos primero con la guía de aprendizaje de Learning Guide. So this is Learning Guide number 2, guía de aprendizaje número 2. So this is the objective, comunicar información sobre las rutinas teniendo en cuenta la estructura del vocabulario y el contenido requerido del programa de formación English at Work. Resultados de aprendizaje, outcomes, compartir información respecto a rutinas haciendo uso de la estructura del vocabulario y contexto requerido, competencia, interactuar con otros en el idioma extranjero según las estipulaciones del marco común europeo. And these are the evidences. Evidence number 1. Check the material. How often do you study English? Este es el material que vamos a revisar ahorita en el segundo documento. When you do the activities, you can study extra material. All the activities are in English, and you can contact me via the questions and concerns forum. Evidence number 1. Daily routines. You're going to listen to an audio, Sarah Anderson. You're going to record an audio, your voice, about your personal routine. You have to include 15 activities that you do in the days, hours, and months. And these are the instructions. So that is number 1. This is number 2. Interactive activity My Day. Click on activity 2, interactive activity My Day, and follow the instructions. Number 3. My Ideal Self. There is a recipe for success in the bottom of practice. Follow the instructions, download and do the activity, having in mind the instructions for it. So that is evidence number 3. Let's continue with evidence number 4. A word of differences and similarities. This is number 4. You're going to write 6 phrases using the grammar and vocabulary studied in this unit. And you're going to find the similarities and differences in the routines of school and your personal routine. And these are the instructions. And number 5 is the activity right now, the online session, virtual session for learning activity number 2. Then we have a chart with the evidences. So we have number 1, award of differences, number 2, interactive activity, number 3, daily routines, number 4, the online session, and number 5, my ideal self. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the criteria for evaluation, and these are the techniques for evaluation. Right? Good. And finally, in number 4, we have the vocabulary that we're going to use in this unit. This is a very extensive vocabulary. It's organized alphabetically, and it's very important for you to study and learn the vocabulary in detail. Okay? Now we're going to check this material, number 2. This material. This is a PDF document. This is a very long PDF document. Okay. 26-page long document. So we're going to go very quick on this. The title is How Often Do You Study English? Con qué frecuencia estudia inglés? You're going to find the information in English and in Spanish. It says, in this second learning activity of English that Works 1 training program, you will learn about routines, adverbs of frequency, and the pronunciation of plural nouns. En esta segunda actividad de aprendizaje del programa de formación English That Works 1, usted aprenderá sobre rutinas, adverbios de frecuencia, preposiciones de tiempo y la pronunciación de sustantivos plurales. So that is the information. You will learn about this. Daily routines and expressions, adverbs of frequency, and the pronunciation of regular and irregular plural nouns. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Let's go to number 1. Daily routines and time expressions. Okay, so in daily routines we use the grammar structure simple present tense, and this is the grammar. We use in interrogative form, we use the auxiliary do or that for he, she, it. In affirmative and negative we use don't in the negative when it is necessary. We have some examples. So this is a few pictures of a typical person's routine. And these are the activities: get up, take a shower, brush, floss, shave, get dressed, wash, etc., etc., etc. We're going to organize these activities according to the picture. Then we have the time expressions for the present tense. We have the preposition at and the preposition on, and the specific uses and examples. I use at when we talk about the hour, and I use on when I use date, weeks, days of the weeks, and we have the examples here. We continue with the preposition in. I use in for years, month, and we have some examples. Extra information and adverbs of frequency. The adverbs of frequency is the vocabulary we use to talk about the frequency of an activity in particular. The chart here with the most common frequency adverbs: always, usually, frequently, often, sometimes, occasionally, rarely, seldom, hardly ever. And the last one is here. Never. All right. And then we have some examples of how to use the adverb given. This is the position for the frequency adverb. In the middle of the subject, frequency adverb, and the verb. And some important information. Point number 3 is the pronunciation of the plural forms of the nouns. There you go. So we have glass, glasses, quiz, wishes, wishes, witches. Or tomatoes, potatoes, heroes. So we have F or O. Two different pronunciations. Sometimes we finish in F, we change into VES, like leaves, or wife, wives. There are some exceptions, like leaves, cheese, and clips. Sometimes we have to use IES, for example, 5, 5, 4, how are you? There is a little change in the plural form. And in English and in Spanish, we have some particular or irregular forms. Child in singular, children in plural, food in singular, feed in plural, goose, geese, louse, live, man, man, no manes, mouse, mice, ox, oxen, person, people, two, thief, woman, women. And you see the phonetical representation, which is sometimes a little complicated to you. Okay, and there are some other examples. Now I'm going to share with you a little another website for you to do exercises, especially for the present simple. Okay, hold a second. So you go to your Google search engine and you say present simple exercises. You're going to find different options. I suggest you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different websites, maximum 10. So let's go, for example, to English hyphen, this one. This is a good one. You're going to complete with the vocabulary and parentheses in the correct form. When you finish, you check. And you're going to say what is correct and what is incorrect. And the little explanation. So I suggest you guys do the 5 first or 10 first websites. Entonces la idea es que hagan las primeras 5 o 10 páginas que les quiere aquí, y tal como lo vemos en la guía de aprendizaje y en el material de apoyo, pues vamos a encontrar ejercicios para hacer presente simple y para los plurales y las verbos de frecuencia. Entonces si queremos, por ejemplo, sobre los plurales, entonces decimos plural nouns exercises, así como lo encontramos en el guía de aprendizaje, y pues vamos a encontrar los ejercicios y vamos a hacerlos. Listo, entonces esta era la información que tenía que compartir con ustedes hoy. Sonia, ¿tienes alguna pregunta? ¿Tienes algún comentario? ¿Tienes alguna duda? ¿Deseas que te aclare algún otro tema? Ok, entonces Sonia, no tiene más preguntas. Recuerden que se pueden comunicar conmigo mediante el foro de preguntas e inquietudes. Se pueden simplemente en la mensajería interna o mediante el grupo de WhatsApp, el cual está habilitado para ustedes. Soy solamente yo que puedo escribir en el grupo, pero ustedes me pueden escribir de manera interna, simplemente copiando lo que me escriben. Gracias por asistir, que tengan un feliz día.